Hi there, welcome to Carcassonne with Utze. Tonight with the WTCOC preseason doubleheader. It's the United Kingdom versus Belgium right now. And later on, in about an hour, Brazil versus Spain will start as well. I'll try to cover both, but first off, I'll of course take a look at the matches, the duels of UK versus Belgium. Will be covering these three mainly. So Fanatical Lime versus Gina Corelli versus Fabian Mouton, and Small Red Van versus N2XU. Only Fanatical Lime and Gina have met before. I'd expect more or less close games in most of the 7 duels of UK versus Belgium. The one, maybe 2 exceptions I'd see. Of course, Deadmat versus Learn to Fly at the first table. Anything but a 2-0 win by Deadmat would be quite a surprise. And then there's Empty Wheel versus Deaf Dame Stompy. The Triple D from Belgium is a very experienced player. He's playing Carcassonne since the early days. Actually, I know him from Bradville World, and Empty Wheel doesn't look like they'll stand a chance. But apart from these 2 duels, all other 5 should be or could be pretty close. And later on, I'll check back what's up with Brazil versus Spain. For now, let's hop into the games. Let's see if they are already playing. And I hope we don't have more problems like last time. So let's update them again. Yeah, it looks like it's the same case. Or they are just taking their sweet time to start the games. So next time I'll just start a few minutes late or what? Okay, at least one of them has already started. And the others are going as well. That's fine. If you'd like me to focus on any specific game, just say so in the chat, else my main focus will be Gina. Okay, so let me just fix the scoreboard and here we go. Nothing crucial so far except for the big city tile drawn by Gina. Oh, let me just change the colors so all Belgiums are actually playing yellow and the UK players are playing blue in all duels here. So, as I said, Gina's quadruple city over here could become quite the problem, as is often the case if you get it early on. But the upside is also there. Maybe just hoping to get Doritos on both ends, and then this could grow to a 20-point city even. For now, this looks like a nice start for Fanatical Lime. Having a nice monastery over here. A city with potential, plus roads, although the left one is a bit iffy. I won't say much about the other two duels on the left and right side unless our main protagonists in the middle would play really slow. Right now it looks like I might have time to check on one of the other duels as well. So Fanatical Lime now with a dagger won't go over here because that only helps Gina. But there's really no good spot for them right now. They like to open a new city, of course, because with a city cap, getting a chance on 4 easy points would be quite nice. This year, yeah, problematic at best, because now there are 2 attacking options, and then you might even be able to block this, but you would automatically kill 2 of your meeples with a gain of at most 12 points. That's okay, but I'd rather not go this route at this stage of the game. So Gina's monastery placement, of course, was with the idea to kill this square here. But it's a wasted monastery nonetheless. Could have gone over here and bind these 2 blue meeples and then later on try to kill the city. Now blue takes the 3 points minus the 1 yellow nets due to the city cap on their city part. And now ideal piece for Gina, getting the starting tile 4 points, minus the 1 for blue's monastery, but 2 dead blue meeples. Nicely done. No questions asked here. So, although there's a slight scoreboard lead of 8 points for blue right now, the 2 killed meeples will net at most 13 points and 6.5 points per dead meeple is just a few points too few. Gina as well opts for the city closure rather immediately, but then blue gets to attack them, and so now Gina might go over here with Dorito and then try to block this attack, because the quadruple city is gone. Blue at the bottom is just outlucked by yellow, because again Gina gets the perfect tile, closes their city just immediately after blue tries to prevent exactly that. But this 12-point city by blue might get closed unless Gina would try something against this. And that's why even with this piece, which he could have used to score 4 points up top, he tries to block it. And this might be worthwhile because all 4 starting tiles are already gone. 2 roses are gone and 2 daggers as well. 2 right-handed daggers, that is. Because all left-handed daggers are gone anyway. So now he tries to block this and totally kill this square. But blue gets to prevent this. Has to limit this here. So can't use horses. But prepares a nice 4-point road. And now hopes to get either a dagger or one of the one remaining rows. Both would net the 12-point city as well as a meeple back plus the 4 points from the road. Yellow obstructs blue city and also creates an option to prevent blue's unification up top. But blue defense now hopes to get one of the 3 remaining cows. And Gina just gets one of them. So still a 75% chance for blue to successfully attack yellow's best feature. At the bottom, there's a 9, maybe 12-point field brewing. So to defend against this city here, Gina might be taking this field. Now with the splitter, he just attacks the city, which likely will work out for them because there are still 2 Doritos, 3 road Doritos out there. 2 are already in play. And this was exactly the best time he could have used this because Fanatical Lime just got the dagger. Would have been perfect to close this. And now yellow might even steal the 4 road points from them. Yellow should now take this city for sure. And then later this field. But instead he opts to go up here and will now try to kill this with any city piece over here. Plus field side on the right. Would kill this here because there's no dagger left. None at all. So blue might now even just unite these 2. Perfect monastery spot. 8 points, and there are still both types of monasteries left. So any block from the left side won't be a total kill because there are vanilla caps as well. Now blue thinks about this here. They could score this and take the 4 points for the road. This would be a 0-point move for them, but this might still be better than yellow getting this for an 8-point move. But blue still has the chance to get both remaining road Doritos. And this is why they don't close the road. Instead, they did go up here just to get a meeple back. Yellow liberated their monastery. Didn't meeple the cap nor the field. The cap, of course, because there's no dagger left, and this would be killed with many road tiles immediately. But now that they get to liberate their road, they just put a 6-point farmer there. But they are still a tad behind due to these 3 blue meeples, scoring 14 points. And now blue gets the field at the bottom. Might not attack over here actually, because yellow has the meeple majority and might attack here and then unite the fields to steal all points from blue. So blocking this square might actually be a nice course of action for blue. Now they get to liberate their monastery, their road meeple. A nice monastery for 6 plus the 1 point. Quite nice. Gina gets the 2nd monastery in a row, but isn't able to stack them. That's why this here could have also been placed one to the left and then use regular monastery to liberate your monastery with another one. This would have scored them more points, but would have also, of course, risked the health of their monastery, because this would have been lost if blue were to draw both regular monasteries, which was a 25% chance. So yellow just played it safe. Now gets the 8-pointer at the bottom. And still yellow with the meeple majority has enough chances to attack a possibly unified field. Even over here is another one. And if need be later on, there could be other options as well. Blue takes the points, but creates another attacking option. Taking these here would have limited this square, and that's why I would have liked this option a lot more. Now yellow attacks on the left side, but still the fields aren't connected. With all monasteries gone, there are still Doritos out there, or at least one field Dorito. No diagonal splitter is left. There should still be one vanilla cap, and there might be a curve. No, there's no curve left. So a vanilla cap and a regular Dorito, a field Dorito, are the only pieces that would work there. So if blue would have placed their splitter here, they could have limited this square to a 50-50. This square, the connection square. So this here seems to be just an insurance against an attack from blue, and this is the real attack, which could work. There are still 2 straights left. No starting tiles, no daggers, no curves. And in addition, 1 crossroad. So now just the 1 crossroad, 1 straight to connect. And yellow likely now thinks if they should connect here or defend this square. But a block by blue isn't really that likely because the cow, they might even opt to go up top. So now yellow's field here won't be connected with blue's field unless I miscounted something. And yellow has only 1 piece to connect here, namely the last straight. Right now, blue's 1 farmer scores almost the same as yellow's 3 farmers. It's 12 to 18 points. And if blue would get the straight, they could connect over here to steal the 3 points from yellow's 2nd farmer. Plus maybe taking 5 points for the road. Right now yellow has the 6 points up top plus 6 points for the fields at the bottom. Plus 8 is 20, plus 7, 27, and blue has wrong color. Blue has 7 here, so 20 and 12 there. 8, and their lead on the scoreboard is 8 points. So the game is actually tied, but blue has a meeple majority still. So they could just take points, likely thinking now whether they need to block this. And as I said, I don't see any need because all tiles that could have gone there should be out of the game by now. So with still city caps remaining, there should at least be the 1 vertical splitter left. They could take this, but instead they go here, which is actually problematic because now yellow gets the perfect draw and blue can't close their city. There's nothing actually to continue this part here. So first games are done. Valmir 79 won a game for Belgium, and MTV wins versus Deaf Dame Stompty. That's quite unexpected, at least by me. And to XU won their game versus Small Red Van. And Corelli and Fabien Mouton are still in the end game. So with the connection to the 12-point field by blue, yellow netted 9 points, plus this one on the left side. This should be a 9-point win or something in the vicinity. Nope, instead blue won this. I must have miscounted. Oh, I totally missed the closed city up top. That explains a lot. Okay, I have to focus more on this game. As expected, table 1 is still playing. That's the table with StatMat, who is known to take his time and deliberating quite a long time about every move. But he gets the results, so that's okay. Borelli quite decisively wins their first game against Fabien Mouton. And Fanatical Lime and Gina haven't started their second so far. Well, okay. Let's check out the left one here. As long as the others don't start. This looks like a nice start for blue, but now it gets problematic. 2 starting tiles are already gone, and this here will bind 2 of blue's meeples for quite some time, at least on average. So now second games are starting as well in the other duels. And right now it looks like this is quite an even matchup here, because the first 7 games are done and the score is 3-4 UK Belgium. And StatMat has lost their first game against Learn to Fly. Yep, that's an upset, but upsets happen. So, Gina, no. Ah, man. Color switch. So, all UK players in blue. Belgium's play yellow. Fanatical Lime took a minute to place the straight. Looks like they were still on a break. Now both get to take cities, which is what you'd hope for in the beginning. And now attacking the road. And if you want to do this, why not take these 2 points, as you'd risk blue getting a crossroad, reclosing the road at the bottom and taking these 3 points here. And all you've accomplished now is an attack on Blue's city, which would have been worth 6 points. So really no big deal, actually. Not sure what Yellow's thinking about right now. And what the fuck? Why this? Why not attack here? Yeah. Well, curious why Blue would play this here. There's actually no reason at all. So if you don't want to attack at the top, maybe just continue your road. And if Yellow then attacks, you'd still have this one here. And later on, depending on how Yellow would connect, maybe this here. But just connecting both your and Yellow's parts, that's just insane. Now Blue was forced to go up top with the extender, and nope, that's just problematic as hell. Yellow pre-builds a block from the top to kill at least this square of Blue, and then maybe leave this Blue meeple with 2 points or 1 point in the end. Now they just go up top to limit Blue's options of attacking here. So the road Dorito won't fit anymore. And what's worse, a road Dorito by Yellow would limit this square of Blue to the remaining daggers. So Yellow might now opt to connect. Then, of course, hope for the splitter, or maybe something to attack or prevent Blue from attacking with a second meeple, but Blue did this at the bottom. So going for the splitter hope or a kill of this attack. Ideally like this, to bind both of Blue's meeple and not let the bottom one run away if Blue were to get the splitter. But Yellow opts for another route, hoping to block it this way, for example. Which is a bit tricky, because once you get over here, Blue has a chance to protect, and it's quite likely they could protect somehow, or maybe indirectly protect over here. And that's why Yellow just doesn't go there, so they hope to get something with the city part here to meeple this, to then either block this square and liberate their meeple, or if they attack, to attack this and then hope to get a cow. But now that Blue gets the cow, Blue's just 2 pieces away from winning the game. Because if they can close this city here, that would be a huge score for them. They prevent an attack from the top, scoring 3 points en passant. Yellow now has to hope to get a city piece with the field on the left side on their next move. And hope for blue not to get anything in the meantime. And blue gets a horse and should use it, of course, here. Then hope for one of the two remaining road Doritos. Yellow with the perfect attacking piece. Yeah, this is a bit safer than going at the bottom. Although the risk is that blue could just use an extender like this to block yellow's meeple and then win the mini battle here. Well, although you really can't call this a mini battle. These are 6 meeples, that's not a mini battle. Blue doesn't go for this one here. Let's yellow kill the meeples. Because this ruin scores 14 points for blue, so 14 points for the one meeple. They have a surplus. That's quite okay, but their problem now is that the one meeple up top was already blocked, and this monastery might become problematic once yellow gets any road piece to block this to the last road monastery. This would result in 5 blue meeples either killed or severely limited. And with only one meeple in hand and maybe a second meeple later on, I don't actually see blue here having a great chance, even though the 14 points of this ruin counter the scoreboard lead by yellow. And because they have to risk moves like this, of course they score the monastery for 7 plus the 1 point for the other one. Now they even get another monastery. Yep, nice sequence of moves for blue. And yellow will of course try to attack this and hope to block this. But blue at least gets to indirectly protect. And with all but one curve still remaining, all but 2 curves still remaining in the deck, that's actually quite a nice defense, although rather imprecise. Now you give yellow the cap to take 4 points while also creating a blocking platform. Have to put the cap to the left side actually. So if yellow wants to attack, they couldn't score 4 points in the meantime. Blue now prevents the block by yellow, still has the 7 curves, and they are quite likely to get one, and soon as well. With 27 tiles remaining, it's rather likely they even have one in hand right now. Yeah, yellow takes a monastery. That's okay because they are likely to liberate at least one of these 2 meeples, and then they could snatch this 9 soon to be 12 point field. but the horse, quite a lousy piece for them. Maybe going over here to prevent blue from closing their city once yellow liberates their meeple with a splitter would have been an option. Creating a blocking option against blue's road monastery is okay, I guess. But doesn't really work out in this case. So their problem is that there aren't many road ends remaining. Just one crossroad. So they pre-built quite nicely an 8-point road, but blue now should close this, or rather block this like this. The block would have been a little bit better, because then blue could still score these 5 points, and this would also not extend the huge field. But yellow gets to close their city at the bottom, now has 2 meeples in hand. And with the 9, maybe 15-point field, if there's still something to go here. And there should still be one regular monastery remaining at least. And I also, yep, there was at least the one vanilla remaining, but there should still be the 5th one out there. So taking the field is imperative. And 2XU won their second game versus small red then. So at least one match then for one dual win for Belgium. But there are others as well. Corelli has taken the second game versus Fabian to equalize for the UK, but Valmir won their second game versus Revelations, so Belgium is ahead 2 versus 1. So let's switch games on the left and right side, because both these duels are over. Sorry, I forgot end of the sentence. So Gina got their road end and a meeple back in hand. But right now, with still the 14 points for blue from the ruin plus this here, so 21 versus the 7 and 12, so +2, +4 for blue, but +8 for yellow on the scoreboard. Ouchie, ouchie. Blue gets to close their city to take the lead and attacks yellow's field. And yellow tries to counter here, which begs the question if blue should even connect to yellow's field, or if they should just take the 4 points. But they go for the connection. Let's count the curves. There's still one curve left for yellow to take the 6-point road and the juicy field connection. And there might even be... Nope. All 3 daggers are gone. And the crossroads are gone as well. I'm not aware of any cash prize for the winner in a friendly match here. There are prizes for the top teams in the WTCOC main event starting later this month. I think the top 3 teams get vouchers for the Hans im Glück store. So blue blocks this here. There's no dagger left for yellow to connect. So the scoreboard lead plus these 2 points equalize these 10 points. And then there is the 14-point ruin for blue, which puts them up by exactly these 14 points. So yellow might now be forced to attack the field at the bottom. There is no way for them to score more points. Their problem though is this field is only, in quotation marks, 18 points worth, and if they would have attacked here, blue would have just needed to score 5 points on their last 3 moves, and this monastery alone would take care of that. That's why yellow just scored the 4 points to reduce their deficit. No, I could open a 3rd game. How about some empty wheel versus Deaf Dame Stompy? They are playing their decider after Triple D won the 2nd game. This here looks interesting. Yellow hoping to get the Road Monastery, of course. So let's focus on the middle game. Blue thinks whether to take these points here or to try and block or nix yellow's attacking chances, and yellow now has to take stock, has to check which pieces exactly are still remaining in this game and if an attack would even have a chance, and if it were successful, if this would even win them the game. And if my count is right, that's actually the case, because this move by blue isn't an 8-point move, as it scores 1 point for yellow as well. So if yellow were to connect with their field meeple up top, they should win this by exactly 1 point. But is there still a curve left? I just forgot to count actually. I think. Oh, yeah, sure. The one which blue used to connect was the last one. So the Fanatical Lime wins this one here and gets a 2-0 dual win versus Gina Gina. Now the match is tied, and on the left side, StatMat just won their second game versus Learn to Fly. So we actually can't feature the remaining duels right now. And we still have 10 minutes before the second match of the evening, Brazil versus Spain, should start. Hi Nico, so it's N 2 times U? Or would you prefer NW? Because I would have never have guessed that from the spelling of your nickname. Yeah, Sergey, of course we can. I already did, I think. So, Lazy Boar. Oh, before I start commenting on Lazy Boar, let's just quickly check what Nallerheim is up to. So for the folks having two streams, oh man, two streams running concurrently. Is there any way to check where he's right now? Oh. Yeah, the one problem with three matches next to each other are horizontal games. Like the one of Dev Dames Dompy and Empty Wheel. So for now, I might just give them a bit more retail space here. So it looks like yellow got their Road Monastery, which is a saving grace for them. But this still would be close, although the 14-point ruin by yellow plus looks like... Oh, no, this actually is tied. So the 14-point ruin plus 3 points on the right side, 17, 21. Oh, I can't count. 17, 21, 21, yes. Plus 9, 30. Blue scores 15, 21, 24. So these 3 points on the left should be plus 9 for yellow. Yeah, I don't see blue coming back here unless they find an option to get this 12-point field. And sure, they try. But is there still a road piece left to connect? Are we faster than the players? So no crossroads. There's still a straight? No, there's no straight. And blue doesn't get the connection and will lose the game. So this spot will be taken by one of the games, or rather duels from Brazil, Spain in a few minutes. If I don't forget about this, of course, please remind me. So Def Dem Stompy puts the Belgians ahead with a 3-2 score right now. And all the hopes of UK's Carcassonne fans are on Lazy Boar and Statmat, and actually just forget the color switching again. So in the middle I just switched the colors: blue UK, yellow Belgium. Yellow like potatoes, like, I don't know, how are pommes frites called in Belgium actually? It's chips in the UK, but for sure not the expression used in Belgium. Yeah, 3 screens, not screams, of course. Didn't I correct myself? Okay, now can focus a bit better on these two here. I think I'll cover this one right now because I have a hunch the left one won't be the fastest game. So blue just blocked this square here. Already 2 daggers gone. So yellow is quite unlikely to liberate their city meeple there. But blue has problems as well, because the city on the right side, although there are still 2 starting tiles remaining, or there were even 3 until blue got one, likely won't be closed in this game. Blue even opts to just score the small city on the left side because the prospects of this year are iffy at best. Yeah, words are hard, definitely, especially if it's not your native language. Yeah, I like people to mess with me. I'd be the same if I were in the chat, as you well know. So blue only 1 meeple in hand, not able to score. This nice monastery would have been a prime opportunity, but tough luck. So in the long run, it looks like this field here could be the deciding factor in this game, because blue already has 2 farmers there And unless yellow could equalize this, and now they try, I really don't see them winning this, because the scoreboard lead plus the situation here and the field could be too much for yellow to overcome. But if they could successfully attack this, yeah, this could work out. They'd still have to find options to score points to equalize the scoreboard difference, but there are still a lot of city caps out there. So it's possible. This here is dead. All 3 daggers are gone. Blue goes for the connection here because there are still both diagonal splitters remaining. I don't think that was really necessary, because if yellow were to get a splitter, of course they could use this to score these 2 points, 6 versus 4, but just 2 points with a diagonal splitter, that's just poor. So most often you should be able to use this more profitably. So maybe just adding this to your ruin could have also been considered. Yellow just kills this, because this is the final nail in blue's coffin. But now yellow has the problem that they only have the 1 meeple in hand, and they still need to score quite big here to overcome the scoreboard deficit and these 4 points of blue's ruin, which of course could still grow. And yeah, so this move by yellow is actually more problematic than it seemed at first. Oh, it's 2 minutes past 20 UTC already. So the other match should be running. How about some Echamon versus Estroncio? So blue extends their ruin. Yellow scores just a few points with the splitter. But still, these 12 points, this is actually really, really problematic for yellow. So unless they get more or less all city caps and especially the dagger, this could be... I don't see any way for them to win here. So getting the dagger would net them 6 points, but even more the quite necessary meeples to attack the field at another place, maybe at the bottom, to then take this with 3-2 farmers, but blue prevents this by using this idea themselves, which of course is quite likely their winning move here. Even if they weren't successful here, getting this 6, maybe 9 point field in the end could just be enough for them. So Ludo, how do you try to equalize the deficit? Yeah, scoring 3 points is okay, of course, but it really doesn't help. So the dagger plus another city cap at the bottom. At least that would result in 12 points, so more or less a tight scoreboard. But then there's still the 7 points of Blue's ruin. So even if yellow were to get the mentioned 2 city caps in succession, they'd still be behind by roughly 10 points. And of course, there's always the threat of they'd still be behind by 10 points if they are able to connect to the main field, that is, and they need to block this here. So yeah, as Alexi said quite a few minutes ago, this really looks good for UK. So with many of the city plus field tiles gone, this here might even be an option. Haven't counted them all. Yeah, it looks like there's still one vanilla remaining and one diagonal splitter. So yeah, no. It's a nice idea, but I don't think this works out in this case. Although it limits yellow's options because it takes all the city plus road caps from them. But they get the splitter immediately. Even meeple the farm and hope to unite these here, which put them which actually would tie the field at 3 apiece. But this would open up an option for yellow of taking the field over, and considering this right now has, I think, 8 cities. This would actually be one option for them to win the game. So unification here and there, and then an attack maybe here or from there. So what are connection options? All monasteries are gone. There should still be one vanilla left. There are 2. There is the vanilla. There still are 2 field Doritos left for this square. And how about curves? So one curve left. No diagonal splitter, of course. So this here is a total block. All vanillas are gone. All monasteries are gone. This square is dead. Yellow's meeple at the bottom just scores the 3 points, maybe 6 in the end. Yellow finally gets their dagger. Their 50-50 chance works out. But they'd still have to attack the field and score more points because they're... Let's actually take yellow. These 7 plus the 2 points up top on the scoreboard are 9 points, and 9 points are 1 point fewer than blue's ruin. So some way to connect to the field, maybe here, and for example extend the road could work out for yellow. Blue might now just prevent this option if it's even an option. There's still a curve left, and yeah, there were the field Doritos, so this could have worked out. This is a nice way for yellow to connect to the field if there still are straights left, and there should still be the 2 remaining starting tiles. There are no crossroads left. There is still 1 curve to block this. And there's still 1 straight, so the straight is in blue's hand. That's out of the window. So yellow still has 2 tiles to connect. And if they don't get one right now, blue could block this with the last remaining curve on them. No, of course there's no curve left. Yellow just got the last curve. Dummy. So no option to block this, and the insurance road is exactly the move blue should go for. Because if yellow gets one of the starting tiles, which was highly likely, blue would just get the 6 points for the road. And that's more or less all they need, because they also took this 4-point road at the bottom. Yep, Ludo has given up. Doesn't try to create anything anymore because there's actually no use in creating anything, and he doesn't even get their connection tile. So Lazy Boar will win this with plus roughly 30. And we can focus on Learn to Fly versus Deadmat's Decider. So the fuel on the left side. looks like this here is dead, and it actually is. So 6 points for yellow, plus the 7, plus 6 points here. 20 plus 12. Nope, 13. 33 minus 2, 31. 27, 26. 6-point field for blue. 20, 13. 9-point field for blue. 4, 3, 1. So yellow plus 1, yellow plus 5 right now. And they got the dagger. Blue really would have liked, was that more or less would have won blue the game. Drawing 6 for the city plus 9 for the field. Nope, not 9 because this wasn't closed, so just 6 for the field. So in the end, a 20-point win for Lazy Boar. So as I said, even the connection for yellow wouldn't have worked out because that would have netted them 21 points, 24 for the field, but 3 points for Blue's road in the end. Yep, tough luck. The dagger was way too late. And the difference on the scoreboard plus this, in the end, 11-point ruin was too much to overcome here. So in the middle slot, we now feature Mejuto versus Valle. They are in their second game. The Spaniard has won the first one. In the last duel of UK versus Belgium, StatMat just scored quite nicely. 4 points for city, 1 point for the monastery, and plus 3 for their field meeple. So an 8-point move by them. And with the 6 points by yellow on the right side for the field, if my count is correct, blue should be ahead by 1 point. And yellow gets a nice city cap, but there is no city to score here. And they found maybe a nice move. I'm not sure if there's still a cap left. If so, this was their best option. Scoring 6 points. So with the same caveat, plus 5 yellow. Blue with their last move. Takes 4 points. Yellow has no meeple in hand. Can't score. Can't add 1 point to the monastery. And Learn to Fly wins by 1 point. So the calculation was actually correct. Yeah, the expected close match between the UK and Belgium. Belgians take this one with 4 dual wins here. And now let's just quickly change the scoreboard to have a better view of the Brazil-Spain match. I should really invest in a Jeopardy tune here. So now let's just check. So Besson won versus Loco Elo. And for the Brazilians, KR Night Realm lost their first game versus Camares. Let's open their second one on the left side because I expect them to be more or less half through this game already, and this is about right. So if anyone prefers any game, just say so. Else I'll just focus on the right one for now because that's close to the end. Let's try to assess the situation. So the scoreboard is tight, but the overall situation looks a bit nicer for blue due to these two 12-point fields here. So 24, 27, 31, 32, 34. And yellow color 32, 24, 17, 15, 11. And what is this? Looks like a farm attack that didn't work out. So blue's ahead here by already forgot how many points. Oh man. This here is just a ruin. Both splitters are gone. And blue will win this game because there's no chance for yellow to score 10 points with one move here. No, 14 points in the end for Edchamont versus Estroncio. So let's focus on Mejuto versus Valle and let's see if yellow manages to take the second game as well. Blue has 8, 16, 19 points. Yellow has 11, so 8 blue, and then yellow is already ahead. 10, 19, 22, 25, 30 points. I'm not sure what blue did in this game. 4 meeples in hand. And a lot of fields. Isn't this a Brazilian playing blue? Aren't the Brazilians the ones meepling farms with a lot of farmers? Did I get something wrong here? Well, looks like a surefire win for yellow. And on the left side, it looks a bit better for the Brazilian. Large scoreboard lead, but actually this one up top would still sway the game in yellow's favor here. If there's still one cap left, because there are 2 cows left. No, just 1 cow. I missed the one on the left side. So let's check if there are still caps left to close the city up here. And there's at least 1 rose remaining. Only 2 in play. And how about starting tiles? Blue just got one of them, but there should still be 1 remaining. And all daggers are gone. So this here by blue would be a total block of the square. And with it, any hopes for yellow to close the city and maybe still win this game. So I'm not sure why blue didn't kill this. Did I miss something? Oh yeah, I missed the 4th cow. So this is dead, and actually I don't think yellow could still win this even if they'd unite these fields here. But at least they successfully do exactly that. So they now own this 18-point field. But even then, they are still behind by a lot. Now blue ties the field. Yellow scores a large road worth 11 points. Now has a meeple in hand and might opt to attack the field again. But with a scoreboard lead of 27 points for Night Realm here, looks pretty tough for Camaras. So let's count this here. Blue has 12 points, 16, 9, color 9, and this is worth 7, so 2 points for blue, now 0. So actually the 27 points on the scoreboard are the difference right now. So even taking over the 18-point field in the middle won't help yellow. They'd have to score more points before taking this over. So it's a lost cause here. And that's why I'll focus on another game. So let's check the one on the right side, because they are in the middle of the game and this should still be undecided. Yellow with a nice obstruction here, leaving only the last cow piece for blue to have any hope of closing their city. The cow piece up top and road Dorito, and then maybe 2 city caps on the right side, so quite unlikely. Yellow got a nice piece here, liberating 2 of blue's monasteries, sure, but also closing a city of them. And if they wouldn't have gotten the splitter, would have ended problematic for them, because the city parts on the left side are looking quite blockable, or more or less almost blocked, because all starting tiles are gone, and it's quite tricky to complete the city. There are still rotoritos left, 3. So config like this should work out. Else there might be a double dagger configuration possible. Yeah, it still is. So that's why blue tries to block this starting tile, and then this city would be dead. And even with a scoring tile like the crossroad right now, they might opt to do this. And with 4 meeples in hand, come on, get one on the road. There are still curves left. So Valle won, and Night Realm as well. Considering this was Night Realm's second game and they lost their first, let's open the third, the decider. And let's check which game to cover in the middle slot. Besson and Locoelo, maybe, because they'll end their game in a few seconds. And it looks like a Locoelo win. The 3 monasteries here, plus 21 points on the scoreboard. And yellow's meeples are dead. So there's no huge field available. That should be a plus 20 at least win for blue in this case. Which would then result in a 2-0 lead for Spain. So Besson just gets to add another few points to their field, but that doesn't change anything here. No, Besson won the first game. So actually that's not a 2-0 Spain. That's just another decider to play out. So in the middle now we have Faubar versus King Gelodion. With their decider. So the only duel, nope, not the only one. So on left side we have a deciding game, and in the middle and on the right side these are the second games of the respective duels. So for now, let's focus on the right side at Chamon with the blue meeples versus Estrancio with the yellow meeples. And considering there are 3 yellow farmers, although this one is blocked for 3 points, it looks like a convincing lead for yellow. So 22 points on the scoreboard, 29, a road for 7 points, 36, 41, 44. Yeah, not even counting the field at the bottom. 48, 60. Oh, that's blue. 7. Yeah, so roughly 30 points for yellow. That's tough for blue. But the good news is for the Brazilian, they won the first game. So these two will need a decider as well. Yellow even attacks the field again, just going the safe route, not leaving any chances for blue taking over the field here. Yeah, Estrancio now just going 3 additional road points. Of course, there's no need to connect to their own field. This would just be a -6 point move because they'd lose 6 points from the secondary field. And that's why, yeah, blue could have also gone over here to score these 6 points. But they would have likely lost them anyway. So in this case, not doing anything with the curve would have been the better move. Yeah, lopsided affair here. Crash the scoreboard. So 32 points in the end. Quite convincingly won by Estrancio. So now if Vaubar in the middle would win their game, and it looks like they have a good chance to do so, we'd have 4 deciders in this match. So Vaubar has 24 points on the scoreboard. The field in the middle is tied right now. No, it's not tied. It's blue's field. And yellow attacks on the left side. So the 24 plus 7 for the monastery, 31. 28, 20. And then there's the 15-point field in the middle. So actually, blue still has a chance, but they need to win the field. Else there's no way for them to win here. Yellow takes a secondary field at the bottom for 6 points, just adding to their lead. And on the left side, there is a decider running, and King Collodion seems to need a lot of time here. So let's try to figure out the situation on the left side. Actually, there is really nothing to figure out here. It looks like blue ran away with this huge city in the middle and is now running away likewise with the game. So this will be the equalizer for the Brazilians. Because Night Realm will take this duel with a 2-1 score. Even if yellow would successfully connect here, if there's still a curve left, and it looks like there's still one curve left. Maybe two even. That's quick. Nope, it's just one curve. Yellow attacks everywhere, but that won't work out. 51 points on the scoreboard. Holy moly. So let's focus again on the middle game. Yellow tries to thwart an attacking platform on the left side. Blue goes for their city, and there are still Doritos left. Oh, there's just one road Dorito left actually. And two big city tiles, and that's why yellow just attacks. They could have put the cap to the top, but then blue could have closed the city with the remaining splitter, and that's why yellow just attacked, just preventing the worst case. So KR Night Realm takes the game with 64 points, more than doubling the score of Camaras. That's quite lopsided. So now on the left side we'll have the decider between Besson and Loco Elo. Yellow gets to connect here, but this actually was quite problematic because blue could have attacked this, and if I'm not mistaken, oh, I am mistaken, because the fifth road Dorito was gone as well. So blue's hope would have been to get the last remaining big city tile and then another cap. So the attack here actually was the better move. Now they ensured winning the field. And it's actually a 21 point field right now. Because there are 7 cities. Yellow immediately attacks again, hoping to connect here and of course here or there as well. So let's check if there's still a curve remaining. There is no curve left, so yellow could just connect here. For example, with a starting tile, but all 4 starting tiles are gone. Both road monasteries are gone. How about straits? Looks like there's still 1 strait left, but then yellow would also need to connect on the top left. There's still 1 monastery left to connect there. There are no field Doritos. Both splitters are gone. But there should still be 1 vanilla left. So they got the last monastery to connect. But blue got the road. So yellow would need a dagger to connect there. And the daggers are gone. So this poor meeple won't connect. Because starting tiles are gone. Crossroads are gone. Curves, straights, and daggers. Which is quite good news for the Spaniard. Drawing 12 points at the top. But still in the end, quite a close game, I think. Yep. Brazilian won 4 points. So what are we having here? Let's take the game on the left because there are only 9 tiles remaining. Equal monasteries, and they are playing too fast for me to actually assess the situation. So this field on the left, or rather the main field, is owned by yellow with 3 farmers right now, but there's one up top that's jumping at the bit to connect. And there are still connection pieces, I think. There are no monasteries, no field Doritos, no splitters. One vanilla cap. No curve, so actually not pieces, just the 1 piece. If my count is correct, that is. So actually going over here with the cow right now and saving this square, so yellow can't block like this, for example, if there's still a straight left, that is, might be a move blue should consider. Although actually only tying the field won't help them, because their measly 2-point ruin over here, heavily outscored by yellow's ruin up top and the city/ruin at the bottom. And the 6 points of blue's road don't help either. So blue really needs to win the field, and is there still a chance? Going over here would of course work, but then you'd need the same piece for both connection squares, and there's just one left. So looks like a Spanish win indeed. They still go for the attack. So that's just wishful thinking, because there's just one piece left. If I haven't miscounted, maybe I have, and they know better. There's still a curve left. Yeah, okay. I have to eat my words again. There's still a curve left. So this here actually was the way for blue to go, because if yellow would have tried to block up top, this would be a huge fault by yellow, of course. Then blue could have connected up top with the curve and at the bottom with the vanilla cap. This here, this seemingly wasted yellow farmer was actually their winning move. So nice find from Locoello here, and also kudos to Besson for at least trying what he could. So Spain ahead 2-1. And I really should have opened the decider of Faubar and King Kelodian earlier, because right now it looks like yellow's trying to run away with the game here. Good news for blue is that 2 rotoritas are already gone. So it's not as easy as it looks for yellow to close this. But if blue were to block this to a starting tile, for example, yellow would have an easy out here, like this, for example, with a rose or a dagger, and then hoping to draw one of the 3 remaining starting tiles. So now that yellow has attacked blue on the right side, they might be served well just to block this config here. Yeah, Otto Nallerheim, for those who don't know, you are exactly right. I can only concentrate on one game, and the other 2 are more or less running without commentary. But then the downside is the zoom. So it works for me. I actually don't really mind having the small pieces. but your mileage may vary. So this attack by blue, I don't really like. I would have just gone here and blocked this, created a ruin. Maybe even then later connected to yellow. Even though they'd get more points, 8 points for one meeple. This could still work out with the nice monastery stacking on the left side. Yeah, actually, how about just use the space we now have? And zoom in a bit. And again, I'm got to change the colors, so the Brazilians are playing yellow now. And this cow move for blue actually worked out quite nicely and counters Yellow City, even though they get to close this right now. So in the end, Yellow's got some points more than blue. But less than the 8 points they would have gotten if blue would have gone for the ruin route. But snatching is 4 point, likely 7 point road. Really is nice for yellow now getting a monastery on the left side. Ed Chamon wins the second match for Brazil. So now it's tied and we can focus solely on the game on the left side. Yeah, the downtime is the most pressing issue I see with Alexi streams, for example. Just having to check who's still playing, who's in which stage of a game, which duel is at the decider or in the decider, and so on. And that's why I really like the duel finder, because one click and you see all the results, and that's exactly why I invested time in getting this ready before even starting to stream, because I knew I wouldn't want to do this manually. It's just not possible to do this in a speedy way, I guess. So let's focus on this game here. Blue Blue's config on the left was nice until this move by yellow, because this of course kills the square here, as all three horses are already gone. But this also limits yellow's field to 6 points. But considering they had at least five meeples in hand, and there are only roughly 20 tiles to go, taking the 6 points, I think, is okay. Else there would have been the risk of blue liberating their monastery meeple and taking the field. So this, I think, works out for yellow here. So the config at the bottom is a +9 for blue. And this might only change in blue's favor if they get to add more points to the ruin, or maybe even on left side to the monastery. But yellow has an 8-point scoreboard lead, plus their 5-point monastery, that's +4. These up top add up to +8 yellow, and the situation on the right side is a +3 for blue. So yellow should be ahead by 5 points. Now blue scores 4, so +1 yellow right now. Now they attack the field here, hope to unite this. Oh, but blue responds with another farmer. So actually, let's use the scoreboard. This is way simpler than keeping the score in my head. So blue's monastery is worth 7 points. Their ruin 8. Yellow's monastery is worth 5. Their field on the left side 6 points. And the fields at the top and on the right side are equal right now. So there is then the 6-point scoreboard lead by yellow, for a total of +2 yellow right now. Actually, I should move this damn thing to somewhere safe. So blue goes for the attack up top. Still at least the monasteries to connect. So one regular one road monastery. And of course they have a second option, road monastery or curve. Although there's only one curve remaining, I think. Yep, one curve and the road monastery remaining. So yellow might now opt to attack the right field or connect to blue on the left side. And they choose this option. So with yellow having the starting player advantage and a +2 lead right now, looks quite good for them. There aren't really a lot of quick point scoring tiles out there, but there is this city cap and there is an extender in blue's hand, and now it's for them to figure out if there are still caps remaining to close this and if they'd be likely to get one. And they opt against it, just taking the 2 points for scoring 10 points for their ruin. But yellow scores the 6 points for the city. Takes a 6-point lead overall right now. So one way for blue to win this would be to unite the fields up top and then successfully attack this united field. Would be worth at least 15 points. Blue scores 3 minus 1 point because yellow's monastery now scores 6 points. Yellow on the right side connects, and of course now blue has to connect there as well. Right now yellow's ahead by 10 points. So if you are blue, attacking up top now really doesn't work. So this option here and farming really doesn't work, because then yellow just kills the connection, and that's more or less all she wrote. Just taking the 4 points and then hoping to connect here or there, I think would have been the better move. But if yellow doesn't get anything to block, this could work out. So 9 points for blue's field up top right now. Yellow doesn't get the curve and blue gets it. Oh man. This must hurt. So not just 9, but 18 points for blue's field. Unless they do something else. And I don't see why they wouldn't connect this now. Okay, so they are checking now whether they should block the Doritos city up top. But actually, they are still behind, so they have to connect. Yellow takes the city and needs a city cap. But the last piece is straight and there are no city caps left. And blue even gets to connect the fields at the bottom. So this move here, which I would have wouldn't have played like this because it was rather unlikely to then get the curve and connect. There was still the curve and the straight left to block this, plus another starting tile. So really, really risky, but it pays huge dividends. Because this nets the win for blue, and with it the third duel win for Spain. So let me just refresh the scoreboard one last time. And then only thing we still could do is check the upcoming games. And there are quite a lot on the weekend. I'm not likely to cover anything, but as you can see over here on the right side, at least the games on Saturday will be covered by Nallerheim, and we'll see about Sunday. Maybe, yeah, Lithuania, Croatia could be interesting. And of course, every time there's a Hungarian United Kingdom match, I'd hope for Siegfried and Stadtmat to face off. But given the time, 19 UTC, I might not be able to cover this. So just keep a look at carcassonne.gg or use the notification options by YouTube if you wish. Have a nice night, nice day, evening, morning, whatever. I see you. Bye bye.